Warning: the opinions expressed in this video are not represented by YouTube or anybody on this big planet. You've been warned. Hey everybody, G-Curse here with another episode of Video Game Discussion. This would be hold on, let me check. I should have had this up on my computer, but I didn't. Let me see, this will be episode number... it looks like... Hold on. Well, it's season 2, episode probably 2 or 3. But overall, it's episode 8, if I remember correctly. Hold on, let me check. No, it's actually episode 11. Okay, that's right, I still got to upload. As of right now, I haven't uploaded number 10 yet, so... Anyway. Today's episode of Video Game Discussion, which the game that you're watching was one of the more popular games that came out. Again, let me check Wikipedia so I can be factually correct. Yeah, it looks like 2010. May 18th of 2010 to be exact. This is Alan Wake, but I'm not really going to be talking about Alan Wake. It's just I like to post, some of my gameplay of games I played while I talk. That way I don't have to bore you with a, black box with white text for an enormously long time. Basically, today's episode is something that really made me think. And that is the issue with backwards compatibility. Should it be mandatory that video game systems come with backwards compatibility? I honestly feel that they should. Now, let me say before I continue on that video game discussion is just my opinion. That my opinion does YouTube or anybody else that I'm associated with. My opinion is my own. It does not reflect upon them. With that out of the way, okay, let me continue on. Basically, I think that it should because I am a video game collector. I have most of my collection deals with this current generation and the previous generation. I even have a couple NES, SNES, and N64 games. But most of my collection basically is around GameCube, PS2, Xbox, and then the PS3 and Xbox 360. I don't have a Wii, so that's not even a factor. I even got some old PS1 games. But I was actually going to be doing video game discussion, instead of it being about this issue, it was actually going to be about are certain games treated higher when it comes if they're not what were promised. And to do that, I hooked up my original Xbox and I was gonna put in one of my games. I think it was Halo 2 or Halo 1, but one of those discs has a file on it about making of Halo 2. And it was supposed to show how the game was going to look, but I'll talk about that later. I'm getting off subject. I hooked up my original Xbox and I pulled the game out of the case. I went to put it in the Xbox. I turned the Xbox on, and I did not know it was possible. But I got a red blinking light on my original Xbox. Now, keep in mind, I treat my video game systems like gold. I mean, I do not abuse them. I clean them. I do everything possible to prolong your lifespan. With the Xbox 360, I strongly suggest that you always install your game. That way, it's less wear and tear on the CD drive. But I was totally shocked. I did not know, number one. I knew that there was going to be a time that my original Xbox was going to just break down. I had originally two of them. One I bought from Rent-A-Center. Rent-A-Center I think it's called. It's one of those rent-to-own places. And that one died a long time ago. Well, just before that one died, I bought a new one. But this was just after the Xbox 360 came out, so it was pretty cheap when I bought it. I didn't use it that much, but I got the red ring of death. I'm not sure what you call the red ring. All I know is it's a blinking red light with the air number 12. Well, I went to Microsoft's Microsoft for help, and they stopped doing the repairs of the original Xbox. So basically, I salvaged what I could. I salvaged the hard drive out of it in case if there's anything I could ever do with it. But it made me go back and think. Made me really stop and think when I was taking the machine apart to try to fix it. Should video game systems be backwards compatible? Because, like I said, I now have nearly 40 original Xbox games, and now I can't play them. I know there's limited backwards compatibility on the Xbox 360, but from what I heard from both the net and online and stuff, or TV and whatnot, or my Roku, I should say, not TV. Basically, the PS4 and Xbox One are not going to be backwards compatible. So I will openly admit I got 3 Xbox 360s because I dread the red ring of death. But I only have one PS3. But when it's 5-6 years after these systems are phased out and they all break down, what am I going to do with my collection? These systems should be backwards compatible. That way, people who collect games should have the satisfaction knowing that 10, 15 years down the road, they could still pop in, fucking Halo or Gears of War 1 and be able to play it without having to worry about needing to have a specific system. That's what I personally think. I think it should be mandatory. And granted, it would probably cost a little bit more money, but I'd be happy to pay a little bit of extra money if it means I can still play my old games. Because right now, I don't even know if they're ever... I got a system called the FX Twin Turbo, I think it's called. It's basically an emulator. It's a built emulator. It plays both Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. But I don't know if anybody's ever going to make an emulator, machine of what the Xbox 360, PlayStation 2, of the last couple generations. I'm not sure if anybody's ever going to do that. And, what's the point of having a collection if you can't really use it? I don't want to sell them because I put so much money into my collection that, to me, it would just be a waste. I know things appreciate, but it's also the, it's like the personal value. It's like I spent $60 on Doom for the Xbox. If I was to, GameStop doesn't take it in now. If I was to sell it at a pawn shop, most I'd probably get is $250 out of it. It's not worth it. But then again, what's the point of keeping something if you can't use it? It just really, it's one of those questions. Too bad we can't make video game, companies, or the game, video console companies make it backwards compatible, But I honestly wish that they would realize that not everybody, their major fear is people who wants to trade in their games. Okay, I can understand their point of view. I can understand that they're worried about people selling the games, but they also got to think about, what about people who don't want to sell the games, the collectors? What's going to happen once our system, our current system is no longer relevant, and we're now moving on to the next system? They're going to have these games. We want them to keep the games. We don't want them to sell it, but we're not giving them any options. What happens when little Billy Joel's, or Billy Joe, or whatever? What happens when his Xbox 360 finally is red ring? We can't fix it, but he has all these games, and we don't want him to sell it. So basically, we're basically handcuffing him to games that he can no longer use. If you don't want people to, especially for video game collectors, if you don't want them to sell the games, make your systems backward compatible. I'm pretty sure, like I said, take money, but it'd be worth it if people, I just say it'd be worth it, Or another thing that they could do, if they don't want to go through all that high price to make everything backwards compatible, I heard that you could literally put the program on like Xbox Live or something, or do what Sony did with Metal Gear Solid. I heard about that. Dark Side Phil did a playthrough of Metal Gear Solid. Now, it wasn't on the disc. He actually had to download it from the PlayStation Store. If they don't want to make the systems physically backwards compatible, can't they put it like the data on their version, on the PlayStation Network or Xbox Live or the Wii Network? If you could send in the box and the game to these people, they'd give you like a token for you to download the game for free. Couldn't they do that? If they don't want to have people, selling the games, maybe they should do that. But I'm not sure what they're going to do. All I know right now is the system is very, very flawed and broken, in my opinion. I mean, they make it known that they're upset that people trade in the games. Well, what's the point of keeping something if you can't use it? And right now, I went through Kelso and Longview, people I know, see if anybody's selling a original Xbox. I came across a guy who's really nice. He's the owner of Classics, who I promote in my videos in the description. Since I already got the controller and the cables and everything, he basically made me a deal that he's going to, once he gets them in, sell me an original Xbox, just the system, for $15. Not bad at all. But there's going to be a day that there are no more Xboxes or PlayStation, because they're all broken. And the video game world really needs to, do something about these. Make them downloadable. Either downloadable, for everybody, or, well, not everybody. Make them downloadable for people who have the games, or let them buy the games, as downloads. Because there's a few games that, for my original Xbox, I really want to do a playthrough of. A couple of them right off the top of my head was Star Wars Battlefront 2, because Battlefront 3 is supposed to be coming out soon. And the other is Republic Commando, which I think was one of the best Star Wars games ever, next to the Old Republic. But that's just, but in closing, that's my opinion, I think it's wrong that they get upset about people trading in games, but then they offer really no backwards compatibility at all. What do you think? Should backwards compatibility be mandatory, built in for consoles, or do you think that that they should digitize the games, put them on their selling service, the Xbox, their markets, and let people download them for free via tokens or buy them outright? Okay, so let me know what you think. And in closing, I hope you enjoy this video. It's, I try to keep my video game discussions to around 15 minutes. But if there's really big breaking news or something, I will talk longer about it. And in closing, I just want to say thanks. Leave a comment. Thumbs up or thumbs down is cool with me. I don't care. And if you have a question, I'll reply to it. I'll try to, at least. Okay, so until next time, this was Gaming Curse saying peace out, stay safe.